Hi, folks. Georgie here again. I'm the community moderator for AKISC. So here with us today is Karan from UK. So he is a graduate in master graduate in business analytics, and he is here to share his story specifically on how he started his journey with a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, and then altogether had a 180-degree shift into business analytics. And let's hear from him his journey, how he was traveling by his journey, and how he has reached so far, and how he is doing as of now. So, Karan, over to you. Maybe let's start off with a brief introduction, and then we'll pick it up from there.
Sure. Definitely. Hi, Georgie. I hope you're doing well, and thank you for organizing this session. Always happy to be a part of these initiatives. So you give a brief introduction, and that was kind of the apt one, a 180-degree turn. So I basically did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering back in Bangalore. This was in 2015, and I was quite interested in the way machines worked, cars, automobiles, so on and so forth. And that was where I saw my passion lie when I was young. And when I did my engineering, after completing my engineering, the 4 years, it was during the final semester that I kind of felt that this is not really the domain I see myself having a career. I did not have the same passion that I had before, and I was looking for something different and trying to see if I was getting any opportunity apart from the traditional mech companies and the traditional IT companies, the big IT companies, Infosys, Wipro, so on and so forth. So while I was researching, speaking to people who are in different domains, connecting with seniors and so on and so forth, at that time, this is 2015, analytics was something that was upcoming, and a lot of people had started talking about it. And I also heard about it and decided, let's see what analytics is about. Why are people talking about this so much? It seems to be the next big thing, so on and so forth. So that's when I decided to pursue a career in analytics. And fortunately, I got a role in one of the insurance companies as a modeling analyst, and that's how my career in analytics started. It was a bit challenging because I did not have a programming background as such. There is some programming involved nowadays in data analytics, data science, so on and so forth. But I was fortunate enough to start off as a modeling analyst, which did not involve a lot of programming, and then progress further. And it's been 5 years now, and I have stuck to the analytics domain, worked for almost 5 years, and also got a master's degree in business analytics. So yeah, I am personally quite happy with this decision that I took of shifting away from a core field to the analytics field, and I am enjoying currently the work that I do, and I still feel I'm learning a lot every day, and I still feel passionate about it.
Wonderful. That was a really deep insight. So, first of all, I would like to start off with a basic question that I think some of the community members would be interested in, because uh, uh, again, as you mentioned, business analytics as such is a new topic which came in, I think, 5-6 years back, and is currently gaining traction. So I just want to know two things. One, basically, what exactly is business analytics, or what are you guys doing out there day in day out, and also how is this impacting a business in all its senses? So can you please take us through on that?
Yeah, sure. It's a very broad question that you have asked. So what is business analytics, or what does it exactly entail? Now, what I would say is, like, it really depends from company to company, project to project, so on and so forth. It's a very vast domain. So the the job we do, some people have the job title as data analyst, some people have business analyst, some people just work as analyst, and then you have financial analyst, dashboarding analyst, insight analyst, so on and so forth. So these are different kind of names wherein people work with data and try to come up with something that the company is trying to discover, or the company wants to implement, or the company needs to take a decision based on some kind of data. All these, anything and everything related to data which can be used, the data can be harnessed to make a informed decision, I would say, is the job which would come under the title business analytics. So trying to analyze the data using specific analytic tools to make an informed business decision is the, you can say, the broad definition of what business analytics is, and what these different job profiles that I told you perform their duties as a role when they are working under the business analytics domain. So it can be something as simple as I have 100 rupees, and where is the best way I can spend that 100 rupees to get more customers, whether I should spend it advertising on Facebook or on TV or on radio, so on and so forth. And another challenge or a project can be, okay, I have all these data in rows and columns in a database, but I need a nice dashboard so that I can visualize, I can see what my sales are last year, compare it with how much it is this year, and how can I get that instantly, try to showcase it to the management or the C-level executives so they can take a decision. Okay, say for example, the north side of the country has performed well, the south side is we see more improvement of more area of improvement, and can further push sales in the south this year, so let us allocate more budget or more marketing budget to the south, just based on the graph that they see, so on and so forth. So it, as I said, it varies from as something as simple as making a dashboard to kind of creating a whole database or data strategy for different companies, clients, so on and so forth. And yeah, as you're aware, analytics has picked up a lot, and it's currently being used so much. One of the most recent examples would be during COVID, the way data has been used across the world, the way data has been shared. We were able to create progress faster on trying to save people lives, vaccines, so on and so forth. So yeah, I see at least the data being the new oil, as people already say, for the next foreseeable future. So yeah, that's what I would say in short what business analytics is. And I think your second question was, if
Second
I
question
remember
was
correctly,
related to how businesses are getting impact. I think that is
yeah,
more or less covered in
exactly,
this particular. Yeah.
great, yeah,
Right now, from a perspective uh, of a student who is currently pursuing his master's graduation in business analytics, what are the job opportunities that is out there, maybe specifically in UK, uh, in two areas? So you have that rare experience of working in a corporate. I think the first company that you got the job offer, if I'm not wrong, is KPMG from in UK, and then you
right.
switched to a startup. So what are the different job opportunities both in corporate as well as in the startup environment in UK?
Yeah. So UK is there are lots of opportunities. Let me put it that way. There are lots of opportunities in both the domains, corporates and startups. And UK, and to be specific, London, as you must be aware, is the financial capital, almost like a very strong financial capital of Europe and probably of the world in certain ways. So there are lots of companies investing here. There are lots of companies coming here, and it is one of the, I think it does come in the top five. London comes in the top five hubs of the startup hubs. You can say one of the main hubs which creates a lot of startups. So from an opportunities perspective, yes, there are lots of opportunities in the corporate domain as well as in the startup domain. Now, with regards to business analytics specifically, lots of things have become so much digitalized online, especially when the industry has picked up with, you have so much of online marketing, online selling, especially after COVID. These companies have made so much of profit, your Google, Amazon, so on and so forth, with new data being created every day and the amount of data increasing. Many companies are trying to have this culture of setting up a data platform, data infrastructure, a data team, so that they can use all this data that is available, that is being created every second, to make better decisions, or increase the company's profit, or even used by charities and NGOs to make sure that the aid reaches in the right place. So from that perspective, because of so much data being created, and because of London being one of the I would say financial capital and one of the important cities, there are lots of opportunities in general in London and also in the UK, in corporate as well as in startup, because data is being created in both the places at an astronomical range. So yeah, corporates also do consulting for with regards to trying to help other companies set up their data infrastructure, and startups create data products which are then released to the market for people to use, or websites, apps, so on and so forth. So I would say at the moment there are quite some opportunities available. So students should definitely keep their eyes, ears open wherever they see an opportunity, and these are marketed through different domains like LinkedIn, Indeed.com, so on and so forth.
Got it. So again, another question is during your interview process. Again, this is a two-part question. You have taken the interview both for a corporate as well as for a startup. So what was the different phases in each of this segments? So if you can maybe take us through that, that would be really helpful.
Sure. So in UK in general, they kind of follow a standard hiring procedure, you can say. So you basically apply for the job, and if your CV is shortlisted, recruiter kind of sets up a initial introduction 15-30 minute call with you, where they discuss which role you're suitable for, what salary you're looking for, what are you looking for in the next role. These are the tech stack that we use. Are you comfortable with these tools? We work on a hybrid policy, or we work completely remote or completely in office. Are you comfortable with that? These are the benefits, holidays, so on and so forth. If that discussion goes well, if the recruiter feels that yes, this person seems to be interested in the role and has done some research, or if the candidate feels yes, I'm happy with whatever the recruiter has told me about the company, the work culture, so on and so forth, then there is usually a next round. Now this kind of varies from company to company. In my experience in the corporate role, it was 3 rounds of interviews, face-to-face interviews with manager, senior manager, and director in that way. And it was that during these interviews that there was a technical interview also, which did not involve hardcore coding, but more of a speaking way of, they were trying to check if I have the required technical skills by asking questions and me answering them. There was nothing to type and code. But when I interviewed for the startup, this round was a bit different. I was given a technical task to be done. I was given a data set to be taken home, work on the data set, try to create a presentation and present it back to the executives at the startup. And then after that was more of an final interview round, where I presented it, I gave my insights, explained my point of view, then they counter questioned, asked me what if I had done this, so on and so forth. And after that both the companies have a final HR round, which is kind of a cultural fit round, you can say, when they ask you if you're okay with this, are you happy with the role, with what we have spoken to, do you think this is the right role for you, this is the final compensation that we could offer you, basically the offer stage. Yeah, so these are typically the processes. Now sometimes it varies that some companies have a lot of interviews, one technical test and 3 rounds of interviews, or just one technical test and just 2 rounds of interviews, and some of them, as I told you, just have a face-to-face technical and just complete it. They are happy with what they hear, rather than trying to test you on doing an online assessment kind of a thing. So it varies depending on the company size, the role, and how desperate they are to hire, or what their policies are.
Got it. Thank you on that, Karan. So another question is, what are the compensation structure for a starter who is in the business analytics space? And also maybe compensation as well as perks, I would ask. Maybe some ballpark figure, and then what are the differences in between a startup and a corporate?
Okay. So I would say compensation wise, from my personal experience, it's always the startup or the tech companies that pay a bit higher than what the corporates pay you. The benefits are kind of same, but I feel in the startups you can get a little more flexibility, in the sense that if you want to work from home for 3 days and then go to office 2 days a week, or you want to work from outside the UK for some time because you're on a holiday or you're back home, from that perspective, I feel startups are a bit more flexible, whereas corporates, because they are such huge companies, they have very strict HR policies and rules to be followed, and also there is data governance issues, that GDPR rules, where data protection rights, so on and so forth. So it's not very easy, but after COVID, I would say a lot of companies have realized that people do tend to prefer remote working from home for a couple of days and don't like to come to office every day. So most of the companies have kind of started moving towards hybrid working model. And from a compensation basis, yes, it's a natural thing that startups, because they are less people and they get funding, and then they are trying to disrupt the market and so on and so forth. So to attract the right talent, they need to give higher benefits or higher pay, you can say. And some startups also give you the opportunity to assign you shares. So in the future, if there's an IP or if the shares are sold, you get kind of that money at that some point later in the stage, so which keeps you invested in the process. Whereas corporates, it's your standard salary plus your benefits such as insurance, medical insurance, your life insurance, and access to a doctor, subsidized food, so on and so forth. And with regards to the hikes also, it's your standard every yearly review they do. They see how you have performed. They kind of judge you based on others' performances, whether you're in the top 2%, top 10%, and how have you delivered. And based on that, you get your hike. So that's about it. I would say, and for a graduate who's without any work experience, who has just graduated from a master's, they can expect a salary around 40,000 pounds a year as a starting point. Again, it can vary if it's a startup versus corporate, but I've just given you a ballpark average figure.
Sure. Okay. That was great. My next question would be around what is the usual day-to-day tasks or activities that you do as a business analyst? Again, in a corporate, in KPMG experience, as well as the startup experience. So can you take me through a day's experience?
Yeah, sure. So what I found was, in the corporate experience, your projects, your goals, your timelines are very well defined, and you are given a specific task to perform. So there's a big team that works on a project. It includes managers, your developers, and analysts. So depending on what role you have joined in, if you have joined as an analyst, you are given certain set of tasks that you have to perform, which can be supporting a developer, or which then the developer can take on further to kind of continue. And then the manager oversees these tasks and communicates with the client, does the stakeholder management, things like that. So my role particularly was specific to working on data, trying to access the database, getting out the data, doing the verification of the data, seeing if it was fine, aggregating the data to get certain statistics from the data, so on and so forth. However, in the startup, because of less number of people and the culture there, it's more like you have to don multiple hats. So you also go into meetings with with stakeholders. You speak to the client. You get the requirements. Then you yourself have to work on it. Try to see which you think is the best way to proceed ahead, and come up with a solution, which then you can consult with the other senior members of your team, that hey, I have come up with, these were the requirements, this is the solution that I found, and can you give me your thoughts of if this is the right way, or we can modify it better, or we can do. So you get more exposure to the client side, I would say, in the startup, like speaking to clients, working, and you also get the exposure to the end-to-end cycle of a project, right from requirements gathering up to delivering the final dashboard, making your presentations, so on and so forth. So this was the difference, I would say. And your learning curve in startup is a bit faster than the ones in corporate, because of the fast-paced nature of how the work culture are in the startups. They work on the agile methodology, which is trying to decide what to do in a sprint, finish that sprint, and move on to the next sprint.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Karan, I have my last question for you. So, you have been working in this specific data analytics or business analytics space for the past 3-4 years. From a personal life standpoint, uh, what is your happiness index that you're having currently? Uh, would you suggest such a career option to newly onboarding graduates, or just want to see your perspective, your thought process on, and also what is the career growth that you're seeing in this specific space. So you have, it's been maybe 3-4 years, you will also have maybe 20-30 years further down the line. How are you seeing that position as well?
No, got it. This is a very good question. So, what I have observed recently is, because the analytics, because the analytics term is being so widely used now, everyone wants to get into analytics without doing their due diligence or due research about what it is. Will I even like it? Do I have the required skill set? So on and so forth. So, for me personally, that's the reason once I moved, I decided I did not want to do mechanical. I did not completely decide to do a master's in a domain that everyone was talking about. I looked for a job in the domain which I thought I would be interested in, spoke to a lot of people, spoke to alumni, spoke to people on LinkedIn, tried to get their views of what this domain contains, what's the kind of work, is it easy to learn, do I need any specific skill set, so on and so forth. And then I decided, okay, I can start off with a job in analytics, and if I like it, I can pursue my career further over there, or again go back to square one and see what I like. Maybe I realize something specific in analytics is what I'm interested in, one particular tool or one particular methodology that I would want to specialize in, so on and so forth. And that's when, after working for almost 2 years, is when I decided, yeah, I'm comfortable now in analytics. I know what I can expect once I do my masters, and I know for the next 5 years what tools, technologies I'm going to work on and what kind of projects I would work on. And that's the reason I did analytics. So my suggestion to candidates is, not everyone takes the right decisions. I thought I liked mechanical, but I moved to a completely different domain. So you might also be in such a situation, but just because everyone is doing analytics, there was a trend when everyone was doing an MBA at one point after engineering, not to try and feel that you will be left out if you don't follow the herd. Instead, take some time and try to get as much information as possible, because this is called the information age, the digital age. It's not easy, it's not very hard to get information or to speak to people from that particular domain that you're interested in. So reach out. People might not respond, people might tell you that, I don't know, ask someone else. That's fine, and everyone has their own life, everyone is busy, but there are people who will kind of help you, guide you, communities as such, where you can drop in a message and hope that people will reply. There are people who have been through the journey, and they are more receptive to such answering such questions, because they know how it feels when someone is trying to do a career shift or pursue their career or progress their career. So please take an informed decision of whichever domain, not analytics. If you want to get into computer science, if you want to get into sports, or if you want to get into management, just make sure you are taking an informed decision after speaking with people or having some experience. So for me personally, I think I'm pretty very much happy with, from an index perspective that you ask, I'm very happy and satisfied with the way my career has been. At the moment, I don't think I would have been this happy if I had continued doing mechanical. I would not, probably might not have even done a master's, and would still be probably working in a core job. I don't know, but from getting into analytics, I would say, yeah, I am very happy with this decision, and I'm more than happy to help people who are still confused, as you said, or who are doing the course and are looking for guidance, or who have done something different and want to change and move track into analytics. I'm more than happy to guide them, help them. I will not be taking the decision for them. That's going to be their their purview, but I can just tell them the pros, the cons, and the challenges that I faced, which will help them. And from a career perspective, progression perspective, because every day new things are being invented, developed, and as I told you, so much of data is being created. So even after spending 5 years, I still feel I'm learning a lot of new things. I'm still not an expert in anything, and there are new tools being invented every day, new technologies that people are adopting and using. And I have to personally also do some self study, self development, and keep myself updated with these tools and technologies if I see myself progressing further towards a more managerial role or a tech lead role, so on and so forth. So that's the my aim for the next foreseeable future, to try and keep myself up to date with the market, to learn the skill sets which I think would be used in companies for the next foreseeable future.
Thank you, Karan. I think that was a wonderful session that we had today.
Yeah.
Like again, as an ending note, I would want to share with all the community members of AKISC. So basically, the intention of such sessions is to share knowledge with the people who are really aspiring to be in a position like Karan's. So you guys can inspire, you guys can learn and experience how those process are, and people like Karan are really. So I think of maybe say for example 10 people, 10 of them won't be available for you to help you in your decision making, but there are still people out there who can really help you out in your career choice in each step that you take. So that is a quality, or that is the thought process that we want to build in our community. So really excited for this particular session and also for the community's future. Thank you once again, Karan, for this wonderful time. Best wishes to you for your future career ahead.
Yeah, no, thank you, and I must appreciate Georgie that you guys have done this session. All I can say is for people who are out there, just ask. There is nothing wrong in asking for help. I have done it. Georgie came and asked me, "Can we have this session?" If he had not asked me, we would not have this session. I wouldn't have been able to convey my message to you guys. So please don't feel shy. No one is an expert in anything over here. We all are learning, and with whatever experience we have, we are trying to help you guys make an informed decision. So yeah, don't hold back yourself, because these are quite important and life-changing decisions that you guys take.
Exactly. On that note, thank you very much. Thank you guys for listening in, and thank you, Karan.